Alright, so since the audio quality test ran smoothly on the previous video, let's get on with days 13 through 15 of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax. Now there's an interesting G1 for this year so far. And A block has been slacking off while the B block has been, for the most part, the better block. But so let's see how each block did in these 3 days. So day 13, you get the A block. And this, I have to say, this was the best show that the A block has put all year in the G1. Well, not just of their block, but overall. So you start off with Tama Tonga defeating Sonata. Tama Tonga finally giving you a good performance. Sonata is Sonata. He's been consistent throughout this tournament. Haven't seen a performance from him where I just looked like he was mediocre or he was trash. It's really good to see both these guys work well together and put on a good match. Then you have Bad Luck Fale defeating Togi Makabe in the worst match of this show. But Fale was pretty solid. Makabe was okay as well. Wasn't really anything special, but it's always good to see Fale put on a solid match. And it's always funny to see him every time he bullies the announcer. Like, he just finds ways. I think day 13 was where he either pushed him down or was it... No, he ripped his sleeve. Or was that 14? It was one of the days where he ripped his sleeve off his jacket and then he knocked the microphone off his hands. And then 15 was where he walked up to the announcer and the announcer was like, fuck this, I'm getting out of the ring. It's just funny to see the interactions between Fale and the announcer. But Fale ends up hitting the grenade on Makabe to pick up the win and to grab 10 points. Then we get Haruki Goto defeating Hiroyoshi Tenzan. It was a pretty good match. I'm just wondering something though. Why did Haruki Goto stop using the Shouting Kai as a finisher? Does anybody have any idea about that? Because I've been meaning to find out why he's just stopped using it now. Like, did New Japan ban the Shouting Kai or nah? Like, what's the deal with that? But other than that, it was a pretty good match. Tenzan's washed, but he put on a good performance. Goto's Goto. You're going to get a good performance out of him as well. So it was really good matches. So this point, it was really good. It was almost on great. And then we get to Tomohiro Ishii and Kazuchika Okada. And this match was insane. It was the best match I had seen on this card. Not just on this day, but of all the G1. This G1. This is easily the best match of the tournament. 5 stars. I urge you to go check this out if you're pressed for time. Like, just go straight into Okada Ishii. Just great counters. It was hard hitting. You had Ishii being Ishii, putting on a great performance. Okada was great. Ishii ends up beating Okada with the Brainbuster. It was just phenomenal performance from these two. If they had like another match, I'd be excited to see it. and I didn't expect this to be the best match on the card either. I figured this would be the second best match. But boy, did they surpass my expectations, man. Then you get to the main event, Tanahashi versus Marufuji. Now these guys had to follow Okada Ishii. And that had to be tough for these guys to follow that match. But they did a pretty good job. It's not as good as Okada Ishii, but it's still another match you should check out as well. Marufuji just laying in chops to Tanahashi. Tanahashi working over the leg of Marufuji to take away his kick power. It was a great match. Great way to end the G1. Tanahashi has to hit a sling blade and then put away Marufuji with a couple of high fly flows. And that was day 13. Overall, it was good, and it was heading towards great territory. And then when you get to Okada Ishii, they hit that territory of great. And Tanahashi Marufuji kept it going, even though it wasn't quite as good. So I'm going to give day 13 a 9 out of 10. This is a show you should sit down and watch. Very good. So now we're going on to day 14 of the G1. We're back to the B block. So we're going to have the worst tournament of the match. Worst match of the tournament. Toru Yano defeating Unbreakable Michael Elgin. He's trash. Why Toru Yano? Oh. Anybody else could have defeated Elgin. I would have rather seen Kenny Omega beat Elgin back at, what was it, day 8? That would have been better than Yano winning. Just fucking lame. Hey, if you like Yano, that's fine. Yeah, it works if you like Yano. But if you're someone like me who can't stand Yano, it fucking sucks where you gotta have Yano shoved down your throat. Fuck this clown. Let's go on to Katsuyori Shibata defeating Yoshihashi. This was a good match from both of these guys. They got, 12, 15 minutes of wrestling. I like to see these guys get a little bit longer. See how good these guys would be if you give them a 15 to 20 minute match. Shibata was working over the taped shoulder Yoshihashi while Yoshihashi was doing the same thing. And these guys work well together. So it's a good match to watch. Then you get Katsuhiko Nakajima defeating Tomoaki Honma. This was a damn good match, dude. Really good match to see. They were this close for it to be a great match. I just think it was just lacking the time. That was all. Honma trying to hit the Kokeshi as usual, but Nakajima moving out the way. Although Honma was able to hit it the second time. But Nakajima, he was able to nail him with the penalty kick and the brainbuster for the 3 count. Then you had Kenny Omega defeating Yuji Nagata. This was a solid match. Wasn't the best match. Probably the second worst match on the card. Not to say it was bad, but it was a good match to see from Omega and Nagata. Nagata was no selling. Omega working over the leg a little bit. At least it wasn't as bad as when he was no-selling the damage being done to his leg by Naito, because that was worse. But then you get to the main event, which is Tetsuya Naito defeating Evil. Going into this, I had the concern that they might try to do the whole finger poke of doom. Thank God they didn't go for finger poke of doom. It was just these guys going at it. Loved how in the match you had, when they were outside, you had Evil wrap a chair around Naito's neck. Then he grabs another chair and he just swings the chair onto the chair wrapped around Naito's neck. I really love that spot from Evil whenever he does that. You had Naito working over Evil's leg for majority of the match. Evil fighting back and really good counters towards the end where Evil tried to hit the STO, but Naito was able to get it, counter into Destino for the 3 count. This was the best match on the card. Give it a 4 out of 5. It was really good. So then you get to the standings. Tetsuya Naito is at the top of the B block with 10 points. Nakajima, Elgin, Shibata, Yano, and Omega are behind with 8 points. Yoshihashi and Yuji Nagata have 6 points, while Evil and Tomoaki Honma have 4 points. So overall, I have to say this was the worst B block show I've seen. It was good, but it wasn't great. So I'd have to give it a 7 out of 10. So it was one of the downhill shows for the B block, so hopefully they can pick it back up tomorrow. So now on to day 15. And day 15, it was good, but it wasn't great. So you have Naomichi Marufuji defeating Tama Tonga. This is a pretty good match between these two. Tama Tonga is finally having some good consistent performances. Marufuji is Marufuji, really doing his thing. And he ends up beating Sonata with sliced bread number 2. So really good to see Marufuji in the G1 and Tama Tonga finally pull some good performances out of his ass. So we move on from that to Sonata defeating Tomohiro Ishii. This was the best match on the card. You have Sonata, who's been putting in the work in this tournament. You got Ishii, who's been putting in work as well. Both of these men have been consistently good. I haven't walked away from a match of theirs in this tournament where I went and said, that was a bit boring. That was kind of lame. It was trash. No. I've been impressed by what both of these guys have brought to the table. I'd hope to see these guys have another match in the future. So I'm thinking by Destruction, you might have Ishii somehow gain back the Never Openweight Championship from Shibata, I guess, to where you could set it up to where he defends the Never Openweight title at Wrestle Kingdom 11 against Sonata. And you give these two 15 to 20 minutes, 25 at best. I think these guys could possibly put on a 5-star match, given enough time. So moving on from that match, we have Hiroshi Tanahashi defeating Hiroyoshi Tenzan. The crowd was hot for Tenzan in this match. And Tanahashi, he was doing a little bit of some heel shit, which caused the crowd to boo. where he wasn't giving any clean baits to Tenzan or any of that. He would often attack the leg, and whenever he would put it like the Texas Cloverleaf on Tenzan or any other submission, Tenzan would reach the ropes. Tanahashi won't let go instantly. The ref would count to like 4, and Tanahashi would let go, which would have the crowd boo. But ultimately, at the end of the day, he ended up going over with a high fly flow. A solid match. Wasn't great, but it was good. Bad Luck Fale ended up going over on Kazuchika Okada. Thought these two had a pretty good match. Better than I expected a little bit. Fale doing everything he can to avoid the Rainmaker, and he was imposing his will on Okada. Okada carried him a little bit, but Fale, he did his thing, and he ends up going over with the... He first hits the grenade, but Okada kicks out at 2. So Fale then proceeds to do the Bad Luck Fall, and he gets the win there, giving himself a couple of more points to the board. And then we get the main event, Hiroki Goto defeating Togi Makabe. It was good, just wasn't great. I really don't think this was a great choice to put as a main event. Goto and Makabe. Would have been better if you had Tanahashi versus Tenzan, or Okada versus Fale, or better yet, Sonata and Ishii. That would have been a great main event. That would have been good for a main event. But you end up getting Goto and Makabe. It was a strong style match. Makabe being Makabe, Goto being Goto. It wasn't much. Goto putting a sleeper hold on Makabe for a little bit. He ends up hitting an Ushigoroshi, and then he hits a GTR to pick up the win. So here are your current standings for the A block of the G1 Climax. It's a tied for 10 points. You have Okada, Tanahashi, Goto, Marufuji, and Fale. Makabe is sitting in at 8 points. You have Sonata, Ishii, and Tama Tonga with 6 points, and Hiroyoshi Tenzan with 4 points. So overall, day 15, I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10. It was good, just not great. So with these 3 shows overall, I'm going to go ahead and give it 7.5 out of 10. Overall, it was really good. Day 13 just took it to new heights. While the B block in day 14, they went downhill. And the A block ended up going downhill too with day 15. But it was still a good thing to watch. So I hope you enjoyed days 13 through 15 of the G1 Climax review, results, and standings. So I'll be back pretty soon to talk with you about day 16 through 18 and 19. Hopefully I should be off on August 14th for day 19. So I'll cover that one. I'll cover the finals by itself, so I might end up covering the filler matches as well. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll be sure to catch you guys later. Peace out.